Welcome to Titan HST's Business Continuity Today, hosted by Todd DeVoe, where planning meets reality.
Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are at. And I hope everybody had a great long weekend and saw some really great Memorial Day services out there. Hope you were able to attend one and have a wonderful time with your family afterwards. My name is Todd DeVoe. I'm the host of Business Continuity Today and Director of Emergency Management at Titan HST. And I also teach at the post-secondary level, and learning things and really teaching those things is a passion for me. And so let's talk about the Internet of Things and how it really impacts emergency management or business continuity and what your planning is. So I would say probably about 10, 15 years ago, started learning about this thing called the Internet of Things, the idea of meshing things together in one system, right? And I think we're all kind of using something similar to that. We probably don't even know it realistically. I joke a lot with my friends about the Apple interface, right? The ecosystem, if you will, that I put something on one phone, it goes to my laptop, it goes to my iPad, and it's all interconnected. And even though it's just a connective ecosystem, it's kind of an example of very at a low level example of what the Internet of Things is. Now, what amazes me is you walk through, go to Home Depot or to Lowe's or whatever appliance store, and you're looking at washers and dryers. They have washers and dryers that are hooked up to the internet to make them more efficient, and you can have your laundry in there, plan it out when it's going to turn on. And this is kind of makes you go, okay, this is interesting. You have your Samsung has a refrigerator. I saw the ad for it. I haven't got to play with it at all, but there's a refrigerator that you can scan your food into the refrigerator as you put it in, and it will make your list for you for groceries. And in some cases, you can set it up to where it will order it for you, right? And those are the ideas of the Internet of Things. We're seeing this also play out with our transportation. What I mean by that is you use Waze app or Google Maps, maybe even the Apple Maps, where it tells you what traffic is going on, the best route to get there to avoid traffic, the hazards that are happening on the road, things like that. Communication. You have cars now that have Wi-Fi built into them, and I don't mean Wi-Fi in the sense of like it will receive Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi in the sense that it's pushing Wi-Fi out. Tesla's cars, for instance, communicate with each other, right? Which is interesting. And you're seeing the testing happening with non-driven vehicles, I guess, non-human driven vehicles, that is, without communicating with each other, with the system. And that's the idea when you're getting into the Internet of Things. Now, how does that impact what you do on a regular basis? Specifically, in your field with business continuity or emergency management, leading forward again and looking downrange to see what is happening down there. Well, with all this connectivity, that means that we are now reliant upon those connections to get more business time, right? We are relying upon the ability of the internet, relying upon the ability of the system, if you will, right? So if we have now a hiccup, if you have a breach, if you will, in that system, it's going to cause more problems. And so we're starting to see the idea of hacking being a problem. Obviously, we saw some of these issues with malware or not malware, but with ransomware being put on the gas line, the Columbia gas line, right, is a really good example of this. Now, that being said, I just saw an article in the Wall Street Journal talking about um, the fact that North Korea is actually putting people into place to take jobs, not take them, but get hired, whether they're through remote work, from and being able to get into systems in the backside, in the back door, right? Basically, not even just a Trojan horse necessarily, but coming in as an employee, and being able to get back in systems. So that's the other side of it too. So all these like really weird things that are occurring right now are specifically impacting the way we have to be leaning forward and looking at security protocols, right? Um, so the Internet of Things. Let's go back to this, concept here of that everything is now interconnected, right? It's no longer just, hey, we are a hub of a network inside of our building, and it's a fortress, right? We This has expanded into everything that we do, whether it's and you become part of that network, right? And we've been that way for a few years now. This is nothing new, right? Necessarily, but the new part of what we're discussing today is how do we really use it for our benefit, right? So let's talk about the benefits first, and then we'll go into some of the safety concerns. So the benefit is that with communication, right? Now through one app like we have with Titan HST, you can push the button, and it's going to hit everything within your system, right? What everything that you have it programmed into doing, but also you can do push notification. We're seeing this done with WIA through the federal government, right? Those of you who have seen or gotten the tests, Amber Alerts, for instance, these type of things like communication. On the other side of it too, though, is without being um, without being connected, right? Now communications can have some additional roadblocks, right? But that's why when you're using a system like what we have with Titan HST, that if you look at last week's episode, we talked about mesh networking, and how that works, right? The same concept works with the Internet of Things, with everything being interconnected. The more connected it is, the better it is. And you need to make sure that whatever system that you're using is secure, right? And that's the key to it, is every system that you're using now that you're entering into your system has to be secure. And so again, you need to find an organization such as Titan HST where we have the highest security ratings when it comes to our system, right? And I think that's critical. So take a look at that stuff. Take a look at the security ratings prior to entering into any agreements with notification systems, because if you're looking for ways to communicate that are secure, that's important, right? Because now that you're in the Internet of Things, that you're in the system, you have to really be concerned with that. I think at the end of the day, the Internet of Things is going to make life easier, specifically when we're looking at how to communicate, how to move things, right? How to track where your people are, not tracking necessarily bad way, like keeping track of people necessarily, right? But tracking things, items, vehicles, that belong to you, move where they are, how they're moving, the best fast route to get out of an area, such as with evacuations, right? All these things are really, really integral and very important to when you take a look at what happens with business continuity and emergency management. One of the things that we really need to understand is how does this work within our system, right? And how you can leverage that system to make it better for everybody. And that's the critical part of it here. I'd love to get deeper into this. Maybe we'll do a series on realistically how the IoT really integrates with everything that we're doing. This is a very high level look at what it is. As you're seeing smart cities becoming on board, and you're seeing smart companies coming on board, right? It is really critical to see how those working together, specifically when you're looking at crisis management, emergency management, and business continuity. Hey, everybody, thank you so much for spending time with us today. And please check out Titan HST for all your communications needs. Until next time, stay safe and stay hydrated.